Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Wow, you're so welcome to Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod. And it's a pleasure this very afternoon to have you tuned in, that you may get to understand that marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. Marriage was never designed for failure, it was designed for bliss. And tonight, we still have the same that we did the other time, and I just felt we needed to add more to it. Because of time, we couldn't complete everything, but we hosted Pastor Apollo KABALE from right here. We hosted him, and he dealt with a topic in sickness and in health. This is a man that has been able to stand and take care of his wife while bedridden and never abandon her. We asked him quite a number of questions, but tonight we want to continue from there. I mean, because most of you that are watching would be wondering, what in the world do I do if I get married and then she falls sick? For how long can I keep up with her? And you know, it is so selfish. You imagine, wonder, for how long can I keep up with her? If it was you who fell sick, for how long can she keep up with you? You know, that's why when we get married, we're able to say, in sickness and in health, for better, for worse. This does not mean that you are prophesying or predicting negativity in your marriage, like many of you are taught to say and believe. You're not predicting negativity, but it's a sign of a resolve that you are committed. No matter what is thrown at you, that is going to be your spouse. You will never change no matter what is thrown at you, because anything will be thrown at you. So tonight, we want to see this couple, because I'm not only having Pastor Apollo, but I'm having his lovely wife, Caroline, and it's going to be amazing. We'll see you in just a little bit. You're welcome once again. I say you're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss, and we're dealing with in sickness and in health. It's good to learn some of these stories and hear them talk about it. So some of you watching may realize, once you have a wife, you have them forever. Once you have a husband, you have them forever. And not this business where I hear people saying, my wife got sick for a whole year and she was bleeding a whole year, so I've had enough of her. She better go out and I bring in a new one. That's junk. That's idiocracy. It is nothing at all centered about the beauty of marriage. But together, would you please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Nsoboga on set, please.
You are most welcome, my dear lovely viewers, and I'm Apollo Stuart KABALE. So actually, I have so many names, and it's a story for another day, because my mother had 8 miscarriages, lost 3 infants in a period beyond 15 to 20 years before I was born. But everybody would come in, would live in them. So, but I opted to customize these 4 out of the so many. So Apollo Stuart KABALE, and this is my lovely wife, my better half, Caroline Navagereka KABALE.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm glad that you could be able to introduce your own wife, because I really don't have that power to do it. I don't have the power to introduce your wife, but it's your responsibility.
Yes.
And having given us this opportunity that today you actually have Caroline on set. Caroline, you're so much welcome.
Wow. I may say good morning, viewers, and here I am, and I am humbled because this is a real testimony which I believe everyone needs to hear.
Everyone needs to hear.
Everyone just needs to hear.
And we're so excited. All these people are ready to listen to you.
Wow.
They are ready to listen to you. You see, the other time we hosted your husband,
Yes.
And today we are hosting you because some people are thinking, no, but come on, Cyrus, how true is that man? You see, you kind of come up with ideas, then you make things up and whatever. Was that woman really sick? Was that man, or it's part of showbiz?
And these days, it's so appalling that most people really make up things.
Exactly.
And it's only when things go wrong then we start to learn the fake things that have been fixed up all along just for screen.
Exactly, just for the show. But this is real. Those of you watching us, this is real. It happened.
And one thing I know, if you fake up something, it won't last, I'm telling you. But for us, we are here to stay with the testimony. It will stay. The children, the grandchildren, and the rest shall be getting something out of it.
That is so good. Now, Caroline, for how long have you been married to this handsome man? He said he was so handsome. He had a lot of hair. What happened to his hair?
I know. I have an answer very well. Yes, we are married. We've been married we are making it 30 years in marriage. But
yes,
many may not believe it, but he has taken real good care of me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he loves me so much, and I believe this time it is a little bit emotional because the love is unexplainable.
What he has shown you.
Yes, please. Because, and you may ask me where his hair went, but I may also ask him because I was like 46 kgs. When he married me, I was 46 kilograms. And now I'm wondering how come that I'm on this.
You were 46 kgs.
So before I give an answer for the hair loss, he will give an answer for your weight. Of the weight. Yes, please.
That is so good. And making 30 years in marriage is quite amazing. Especially in our generation where a man will come in and say, I'm tired. I'm walking on.
True.
I'm quitting.
True.
But that day, 30 years ago, when you declared, did you say those words to him in sickness and in health? Until death do us part?
Yes, but I have come to realize one thing, that some people say those words with ignorance. Sometimes you say them because of the excitement that is going on.
But you're not sure what you're going
Everyone is looking at you. You are the guest of that day.
Yeah.
So after some time, you stabilize. And then you meditate upon those words.
What did I say?
Hey, what did I say? Will I be there? Will I stand? But God has been faithful to us.
Oh, wow.
Here we are. I'm not saying that he has never also fallen sick, but the extent I went was too much to believe.
Yes.
But this is a man who has made me strong, and he has told me that really things are possible. There is a man, he has told me that there is a man who can stand.
Yes. Oh, now you're hearing that. She says there's a man who can stand. You see, for so long, the assault has been on the man. Yeah, all men are the same. All men are pigs. All men are fools. All men are, everything is coming against us. But you hear a woman in studio or in this setting saying, you know what? There is a man. And let me tell you something. If your wife commends you, then dude, that's true. The world can celebrate you and call you the best thing that ever happened. But if your wife does not publicly say it, they're deceiving you. So I'm so glad to have Caroline publicly declare there is a man over here. And his name is Apollo. Apollo.
But in the home, they don't know that name, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, the name which is there, Honey. And one of our sons came and said, who of you the two? Who is Honey? The two of you. He was asking. So that is the name which is known there in the home.
It's Honey.
It is Honey.
That is so beautiful.
Yes.
That means the more you keep, the way you address one another has so much to do with how you keep together.
True.
And that very son of ours, he's the fourth born. We have 5 children.
Yes.
4 boys and 1 girl.
Yes.
And that's the third, the 4th child.
Yes.
A boy, a girl, then a boy, then a boy. Now that one is the fourth born and the second last. You know, he was young. And then one day he just asked us, who the two of you is honey? Then later on in life, so many years after, when he was about 12, we in our church, we have a Sunday every month, which is dedicated to the children.
Yes.
And this particular Sunday I'm talking about, they chose him. We were not there. They chose him to give us the word. And his topic was very fascinating. He said, dear parents, it was a Sunday school, it was a children's Sunday.
Yes.
But he decided to address the parents. So he said, dear parents, we very much listen to what we see you doing than what you tell us.
That's very correct.
And very philosophical, you know, from a 12 and a half year old boy. And it was a sermon I'll never forget. It's so many years back because just recently he made it 18.
Okay.
But those about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
Still tickling my mind.
And that is so true. It's what they listen to, what they see. More than what they hear. That's very true. Now, I'll bring this in. I asked some questions, but now you're here.
Yes, please.
So you're taking the hot seat. And then he will be able to supplement and complement in every way.
Yes, please.
So he told us you've suffered being bedridden for over a year.
True. True.
And what did the doctors say when this whole thing started?
Oh. This, I repeat it, is something so emotional I had never experienced, I never thought of happening. But I'm one person who grew up healthy, not like, could be a flu, but sickness cropped up from nowhere. We thought it was a simple thing. Okay. And we started with these simple clinics and the rest. But the thing grew, I was like, growing weaker and weaker day in and day out. Yes. And he would look at me and say, no, you are not fine. Yes. And God was on our side. We got the money and no one, I cannot say anything about this man. You know, he took me to every good hospital you would mention in Uganda. And to tell you the truth, it was the doctor. That was Lubaga Hospital. The doctor sat us as we are seated here. Yeah. And he said, man and woman, we are no longer taking your money because we have failed to find out what you're suffering from. Then we looked at each other like this. I am a strong person. Yeah. I looked at him. I just shook my head like this. I held his hand and told him, let's go home. I don't know what he was thinking. He got up, but I saw him lost in thoughts.
Yes. What was going through your mind at that point?
Of course, death. When the hospital where you expected help, they say you go home. And I've just mentioned the Lubaga Hospital, but we went to Mulago, we went to Mengo, and all others for consultations.
Yes.
Checkups and the rest.
And they all came up with one answer.
And I would never forget. But that day I thought that you had betrayed me. Why? Yeah, they told me that they were supposed to take bone marrow from here. Yes. Then I feared because I had heard a lot about it. Painful. Oh yes. When I knew that since he loves me so much, he will not let me go through all that pain.
Somehow we believe that love will never let you go through that.
But I knew that he was fighting for my life. Absolutely. I was on the bed in a hospital. Then I saw the doctors surrounding me. I said, "What?" They had convinced him that this is the only way. And they did all what they had to do, but when the results came back, they said there's nothing. Negative. Everything was negative.
You know, they were suspecting this cancer of the blood. Leukemia.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And they took these samples themselves. Then they sent us to another laboratory,
Lancet
laboratory. Yeah. And then they took the third, they had... They
partitions,
they divided the sample, I mean the whole blood, the marrow into 4 samples. Yes. One, they told us to take it to Lancet. which is a very expensive but
Laboratory.
very
Yes.
laboratory.
Yeah.
Then the second one, they stayed with it. The third one, they told us they were sending it to the
South Africa.
South African Republic, and we had to pay for that.
Yes.
And that was it.
As if it wasn't enough.
They all came back negative.
Negative, but I was deteriorating. Don't be lied by what you're seeing now. I was weighing 91 kilograms.
Uh-huh.
But at that time I was 77.
66.
No, I started with 77.
And you
I
had
went to
trouble.
70. I went to 66. Nothing in the blood, nothing in the bone marrow. So what would you expect him to stay? What would you expect him?
What was going through your mind? Because generally it's been known that a lot of men come up, and when the wife is going down, they begin thinking, I've had enough. What was going through your mind? This guy's gonna dump me. This guy's gonna walk out on me. I mean, what really, we're being real, what really was going through your mind? Were you thinking, he's gonna be there, whatever? Or you were thinking, honey, you're gonna walk out on me?
According to how we've come up in our marriage, I wouldn't expect that. But you know, many people were coming to our home. His relatives were coming. You would see them taking him aside. You were there. They would take him aside. But with me, we've been bringing up our life in a special way.
You've built
I had
relationship.
never thought of that, to tell you the truth.
Amen.
But these relatives were crowding around him. I would say, Banange, they are taking me home. But again, I was thinking, because my dad died, my mom died, there's no one there. Then, okay, I was in a pool of thoughts. Sick, but in a pool of thoughts.
I can imagine this. You see your in-laws with your husband talking far away from you, and you're thinking they're convincing him
Yes.
that this woman is gonna die.
When you look at them, but again, when you look at them as they are talking to their bro,
They give you that smile that is plastic.
You just give a small eye like that and see. Then you say, what is going on?
What is going
One
on?
time they're smiling,
The other time that
the other minute they're nothing. Then you dumped and
you
like
begin
you say what is going
analyzing
on. But I was confident of this one.
of this man.
But I saw it.
And what was going through your mind when the relatives put you aside? They come, they see her, and they say, Miss Tansubuga, come aside, away from her. What is going through your mind? Are they telling me, we've brought you some millions, we want to bring in some prayers? What is going through your mind?
A lot went through my mind, but let me relate actually what was happening. And I'm talking over a span of more than a year,
Yes,
2 months. Without mentioning names,
absolutely.
sisters, brothers,
Cousins.
cousins, nephews, and you know, all these
Yes,
well wishes.
yes.
They will take you aside and say, look here, we know love is blind, we know da 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 da, but let's go back to reality. What next? Then I ask them, next to what? Don't you see her? You know, at one time she developed what do they
A
call it?
rush?
The rash.
A rush, but not a rush like these other rushes, but what should I call it? There is this sickness which comes especially to the young children,
The measles?
measles, yeah. You know,
And she developed measles
she developed measles
at her
it was
age.
At her age, you know. And then one of my sisters I love very much and respect because she's even older than me.
Yes,
One who advises me and I really consider,
yes.
asked me what next. Then I told her, hospital, and then what next? And I had no words. Well, to be brief, it was a great challenge. It was very distressing. I could see my children and my wife, they would look at me because I had the last word, I had to make the last decisions, but then they too didn't know what would be my last decision.
Yeah.
I'm very good at, you know, keeping a blank face while a lot is going on in my head. But honestly, I was stretched to the limit. thank God he never let me tip over.
You didn't break down.
I didn't break down.
You know, he'll never give us more than we can endure, more than we can bear.
That's
He'll never allow you to be tested beyond your ability, but he knows how much you can take. One time the Apostle Paul said that we were pressed on every side, and we felt the sentence of death in our own bodies.
in our own body.
In our own bodies, we felt the sentence of death. But it happened so that we may learn not to depend on ourselves.
We may learn not to depend.
On ourselves. Some of these things happen, and God is just teaching us, I'm still God. And I am in control. Let me handle this. You are not alone. I believe you felt the sentence of death in your body.
All over me, you know, there's a time when, as a human being, you know, I am a strong believer. But there's a time when I said, God, let me go and rest. I'm ready to come. But within me, there would be a voice that, no, not yet. I am doing some work. And one of the reasons that I believe that we stayed together in that period, God wanted to show other couples that it is really very, very important to stand with your wife or your spouse, you know?
Yes.
I recognize one thing, that people die
Yes.
prematurely
Yes.
just because of the actions they do. Because I never heard of him telling me that, Mama on the Kedani, whom have you left me with? Already you're confessing that you're going.
Gone.
You're going now. Whom have you left me with? Already you're declaring her dead. But he never, actually he used to come to me and sing a chorus. Wherever he would come to me, I would sleep quiet in the bed. Then when everyone would come and I take my eyes closed.
That's in the hospital, I think.
Even at home, when, but he would come. I know his steps. We've stayed for long.
I know
how his steps are. Wherever he would step in, I would open my eyes, and then he would sing a chorus. He would first tell me that, Carol, do you know that God made you go through this? Because there was a time when I passed out almost. I had a miscarriage of twins. It was 5 months, but I almost died. So he would come and
years ago.
he would come and tell me, you know, God did this. God did this for you. Then he would
Now
add,
that you had a point of reference.
and then he would add on a chorus that, and all my life you have been faithful. He would sing, then I would join him.
You're so good at singing.
So he would sing that song and I would feel love flowing within me. So he pricked my life out of death. When he would encourage me, he never said negative things
about you.
Whom are you leaving me with?
And that's a choice.
And
that's a choice.
It's a choice you make.
Everything, there were times, and there were many, though a little bit apart, when you would see that she's gone. But then only your word, I say,
bring her back.
Would bring her back.
Now you've had it, only the words of the spouse can bring your spouse back or destroy them.
Right.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.
You're welcome once again. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod. Here we believe and we declare marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. And as long as you're tuned in, then ignorance will be destroyed so that you may enjoy marriage, because marriage is easy. Before we took a break, we were still talking about in sickness and in health. And we have a couple that have gone through it and they have thrived, survived, and they're doing so good. Once again, it's Caroline and Apollo. Oh, honey and honey. That is what we have today. Honey and honey. Let me bring this to you. Before we took a break, you said it's a choice. There are many times you watched Carol physically and everything around her showed Carol is going home. In other words, she's going to die. But you refused to accept what you were saying. That's what the Bible calls faith. You were not moved by what you saw. You rather were moved by what you believed. And you declared, Carol, you shall live. And you sang. I love Carol to do it. What did he sing?
And all my life you have been faithful. In all my life you have been so, so good. And every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Oh my God. Now, you heard that. Carol was so clear. All my life, God has been faithful. And you sang that song over and over to her, and life came back to her.
As I told you the other time, first of all, this is my, not our wife. She's my companion in life.
Yes.
30 years ago, I made a vow.
Yes.
2 years before that, I'm very specific.
Yes.
2 years before that, I made a proposal to her.
Yes.
It took 3 months for her to accept. I know the time when I made the proposal to her.
Yes.
It was just after the death of my mother. And I just didn't need a replacement, but I had a void, a vacuum in my life. And then it was not the first time I had met her, but I had followed her. I was in the limelight then. I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But then I made the vow on our wedding day. And I didn't just go through the emotions. I meant it.
That in sickness
And in health.
and in health.
Because I made a reference to, I made those vows in reference to what the Lord God had been and was at that time, though up to now.
Yes.
To me, God has been and has always been the same to me.
Yes.
I've always been the one to catch up.
Yes.
But he has been there.
It never changes.
He never changes. Now, when he says that the husband is the head of the family and that our wives should obey us
Yes.
as the church obeys Christ,
Yes.
then I must be the Christ of my marriage.
That can be obeyed.
That can be obeyed. We earn it. We don't just demand it.
You're right. I love that.
So I always had to find out what are her favorites, music, eating. Even when she was in a hospital, I told you the other time, there was a time when she couldn't eat anything. But every time I would come to hospital, I would come with one of those things she used to love to eat very much.
Yes.
Though she was not going to eat it, but she would give it out. But when I've given it to her, to show her that I believe very soon you are coming back to your favorite dishes.
Now, I love the faith that you exercised during that season. This man showed you faith.
Great faith.
Great faith.
Great faith. Maybe he might be forgetting some of the issues, but he came up when I was in the hospital and said that I always stretch out my hand to your place where I sleep and I don't feel you. And I always say that, he said that he was like a mad person. He would lock himself in the room and he would say, Lord, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? So I think that when God looked at him and said, oh, my man is running mad.
He was in love.
He was calling, But if the man doesn't have a deposit of you in your heart, he would say, Abanang, I'm tired of this coldness. I'm tired of this coldness. But he told me that I used to call, he would come in the hospital early in the morning, and I don't know how he made it. He used to do it. Yeah. He would come early in the morning, he would stay around, then he would leave at 2, then he comes back at 4, and he leaves at 10. And I don't know how he survived all the transportation and the rest. But I know one thing. He said that we earn it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
One may say that we are walking over a bed of roses in marriage.
That's true.
Some people say, and young girls used to approach me and say, "Mommy, your things are okay. Whenever you see your man is always smiling. You know, it seems he never gets annoyed at all.
Yeah.
But you earn it.
You earn it.
First of all, I don't know whether the last time he told you about the gift which I gave him on the day of marriage. I gave him a gift and he's still holding my gift.
What gift was that?
Do you have it?
This girl was a virgin when I married her.
Wow.
At the age
So-
of 20. She's a former Muslim. She's a princess. Let me say, she was beautiful, though to me up to now she's more beautiful today than then.
Absolutely.
And it was a surprise. You know my background.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve it.
You didn't deserve it.
So she earned it. Secondly, the way we've come up in life, the way we've made our marriage work,
Yeah.
it's something you work on. It's not a ready-made thing that comes up. You know, you go through hurdles, problems, you know, sometimes you are angry, sometimes you are this or
Stressed.
that, but then she looks at you, smiles, and then you calm down.
So now she gave you the gift.
She gave me that gift.
You didn't deserve it.
I didn't deserve it.
I love what you've said. You didn't deserve it. Even in our day and era, many people actually don't even believe that virgins do exist. But you stood, you proved it, and you can still tell people that yes, virginity is honorable to all men and acceptable.
Yes, and I'm not one person who you may say, okay, I'm born from a village called Kasao. And people usually make fun of it that Kasao is a place where the children backdays is the order of that day.
Yeah.
But I'm one person who grew up in Kasao, but came up, I studied from Trinity College in Abingo.
Oh yeah, that
Yes.
was the top school.
Oh, a lot of exposure,
Yes.
pride, like
Yes.
you know you are up.
You're a princess.
Yes,
and-
I'm a princess.
Yeah.
All that would contribute me to live a reckless life, I say,
That's true.
thinking that I'm someone so high up, but amidst all that, I managed to protect my gift and present it to my man, you know?
That's amazing. That's what most of the girls, that's what everybody out there needs to hear. There is a gift you can preserve and then you build up, especially when it comes to virginity. It's so super. Don't you give it to anybody else until they put a ring on your finger. If they don't put a ring on your finger, don't you give it to anybody else.
Sure.
And don't try to believe that the way you prove you love them is by giving them that gift. No. Don't do that. Let's look at this. This man showed you faith. You called it great faith. When you say it's great faith, there's something that comes out. Faith and faithfulness.
Wow.
You get me? So when he came with his faith, the more he exercised it, he remained faithful, and that is to remain the same, to refuse to change. That's where faithfulness is. You remain the same. You refuse to change. He's in the bed. He's all alone. He stretches his hand. You are not there. You are bedridden in hospital, and he's able to say, God, my wife, literally calling you out of hospital back to your bedroom, calling you out of hospital back to your bedroom. He exercised faith. He showed faithfulness in a nutshell.
Yes.
Now, you stood. What did you think of yourself when this man, yes, you've been all together, but now he's demonstrating an unchanging love towards you.
True. This was a time of test, I may say.
Yes.
It was a period of test to both of us.
Yes.
But for me, I was helpless. Of course, I was just there helpless. But to him, it was a great test. He's a man of all over. He's all over.
That's true.
He's on screen.
He's well known.
Well known.
Yes.
And it was, that will be another day. When he proposed me, there was a struggle of other girls who had hopes, what.
Yeah.
So now, if at all they hear that now the other one who won you is going,
We better get ready.
they gather up themselves. But he stood, and I'm here to tell you, not because he's my friend or he's my love, but I never saw anything. You know, any change. You may be on the bed, but the eye is still looking, right? And when you cannot move, actually, that is when you very much, the heart moves out. You're very alert, conscious. You say, Kati, I can't see him. Where is he? But the moment you think of that, you just see him in the corner coming. So, we were both in a test, but for him, he was tested more. He was tested more. But I'm here to give God the glory that he stood, and I'm here to tell you that I'm more lively even before I fell sick.
Yes.
You know? And when he sees me, you know, I told you I was 91 kilograms.
Yes.
Now I'm lighter.
Yes.
So we can move with him and say, you see, now you are young.
Yes.
And I said, yes. You know, the sickness came something good has come out of the sickness. But he has always encouraged me, even taking my medication.
Yes.
He has always been there, and no one knew what was taking place in the bedroom. I was just there. I couldn't even fold the finger, but one would come in the bedroom and see it very clean. Nothing like a smell. You know, when someone is bedridden, everything is done there. You know?
Yes.
So one would expect to come into the bedroom and say, what something is but never. And he changed everything.
How did that happen? Who cleaned
him. And
who else would we allow into our bedroom and to do what?
No, we would allow, but
I mean, to do like our aunties.
Yeah.
Who would wash them?
And
it was you.
He made the things so appealing to me, like even the mops that we used to use, he removed and brought white ones to prove to me that I'm so grateful to God
for this man.
The thing came up, but it worked for the good, and it has elevated us to another level of love.
Now you're stronger than before.
Oh no, I love him more than even
before.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, more than before. Now, who's taking care of the babies through all this? What were you thinking about him? Who's doing the cooking? Who's doing all this?
Yes.
Because now you're bedridden.
Yes. I am one person. I took this as my own decision.
Yes.
The way I grew up, I saw how we grew up. So when I grew up, I'm educated and I have a job.
Yes.
But when I started producing children, I thought within me that let me stay home and take care of my children.
That's a great job.
I took care of my children until they reached a stage where I can now go and work, and they also go to school.
Yes.
So this was not so hard, and we've trained our children to take care of themselves really in our presence and even when we are not there.
That's good.
So, but what he would do to confirm to me that your children are fine, he would come in the morning with them to the hospital, all of them.
Especially on Sunday.
And I don't know whether you trained them, they would make a smile. Everyone would give a smile.
Well, not to discourage you, try to show you you're badly off.
I had to coach them and tell them, look here, we are not going to mommy to cry and to feel sorry for her. No, we are going to encourage her. Our faith is what will raise her up.
Yes. Now, I would say this. Do you believe that the words you speak to your wife can build her up, build her immunity, or destroy it?
I am we are a typical example of a modern day. We are typical examples of modern day faith in action. I thank God because it's not just because I sat down and thought about this, but God gave me the grace. It takes grace to speak the right word to your wife. And and when those words are coming from your brains, she can sense she's been around you long enough. But when you speak them right from your heart, they'll go into her and down to her heart. Then they will permeate the whole, everything in her body, and it will be immunity and healing to her. Many times we really kill our spouses even before they really fall down. you speak discouraging words, you demean them, or you show that, and we have the problem of the
Phones.
phones. You get home, you say hi, then you get
back to
and
the
those,
phones.
that's a problem. Speak calculated words to your spouse and stick to them, and let those words be coming from the depth of your heart, and everything will be fine for you.
That is very good, because we get to understand the words we speak, because you mentioned he would speak and you felt, yes, your life coming back.
Yes. And
There are women out there,
Yes, please.
they are listening to nothing but negative. Every time the man comes in, who do you think you were? Who raised you? Who did this? You're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. Do you think you would have been alive today if he spoke to you in that manner?
I wouldn't have been alive. That is one. Secondly, my attitude was just too low. The words that he used to speak to me would change my attitude. Of course, when you fall down, you also think of your journey, that I'm also gone. But the words he used to speak to me changed my attitude, that, oh, is there a chance for me to live? Because he quotes. He can quote the Bible,
Yes.
and I thank God for that, because he's my concordance. Sometimes I call him my concordance, because he would quote scriptures. Great is he who's in you than the one who is trying to torture you. He would make our scripture relevant to me in my life. He would not bring scriptures like Jesus went to Ponto and what. No, he would say those words, and they would change my attitude, and I would see myself getting up. And definitely, with time, I got up.
You see, it's written that two are better than one.
Great.
When one falls, the other will lift him up. Why is it that today, many times, when one falls, the other stamps on them and just steps on them, and there's nobody to lift up? Where is the problem? Because you fell, he lifted you up. These days, to others watching us, when one falls, I run.
Yes. This is a journey. Marriage, it starts and it is a journey. Someone sang a song that it starts when you're okay, but as you move on, you get the sweat, you get the dust.
Yes.
But it seems on the way, as they are moving on their way of marriage, there's a time when they feel they are tired. They are tired, and then the devil brings a chance that here you are now, you're sick. Oh, I waited for this time. There are men I may not mention.
No, you don't have to, but you can go ahead and.
Could be even women, because this I've done that savageous.
Yes.
There are people who are really tired and wishing that day when they follow, the spouse dies and they move on.
That's very
I've
true.
told you that I was 46 kgs. Now I am now 77. I'm now back on the road.
Yes.
But now you're telling me that you are now old, what? Now who made me to be old like that? I used to be...
I raised all your babies.
Yes, I held them 9 months here.
9 months here.
9 months.
And then held them here.
Eating soil, what?
I was cleaning them up. And now I feel you are old.
Yes, that's...
I need a new creature in the house.
Sure. So as they were, back to the question, as they were moving on the way of marriage, they just stumbled somewhere and they wish that their spouse would die.
And they started.
But for us, we just always sit and do evaluation. We do evaluation and see how we can move on. And people come, and I was asking him that, but what should we tell people that has brought us this far?
Yes.
You sit and discuss, forge the way forward, and you stay.
And there's something that he mentioned that I believe can help our viewers still. He said, I never deserved this girl. I believe that where our viewers are,
Whatever I was doing to her, it was more of a payback.
you are being grateful, because when you deserve, you cannot be grateful, because you said, oh, I qualify. I qualify. I mean, why should I be thankful? But he mentioned something that really got me so good, said that you never deserved this girl. In other words, every man out there, every spouse, danger comes in when you begin deserving. When you begin deserving, you stop being grateful. You stop appreciating. And whatever you don't appreciate will depreciate. Now, when they begin to depreciate, you no longer want to be next to them. But you don't realize that you first thought you deserved. Because when you believe you deserve, you get to believe you deserve better.
Better. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Now he believed, I didn't deserve you. Even after 20 years, I don't deserve you. Even after 28 years, I don't deserve you. That is what will keep him appreciating you, running after you, and loving you. Not, you see, it's easier to say, I love you because you're beautiful. No, but you're beautiful because I love you. The more, you see, you can start like the way he started. Oh, Carolyn, you're beautiful. I'm loving you. And then you move on. Down the road, it changes. You're beautiful because I love you. I don't love you because you're beautiful. You're beautiful. My love makes you. Thank you. My love makes you beautiful. He loved you and you became beautiful to him. And you're seated here. You're beautiful to him. And he can never change. He's saying, I'm going to be there for you. But the key is here. I never deserved you.
Let me also say this, even if I didn't say it, but I also never deserved him.
Now, that's where the equation is. You also never deserved him. That means you cannot take him for granted. Neither can he take you for granted.
No.
And that keeps the fire burning.
Yes. Because I never deserved. Because for him, he gave a reason for the gift that I gave him. But this is a man who was all over. He had a choice.
He was a soccer player.
And I'm a girl.
He was a celebrity.
I'm a girl from Kasawo. And he used to tell me that they used to ride these bikes in the streets of Kampala. Yeah. And now I'm a girl from Kasawo. And he comes all over and picks me.
A girl from Kasawo.
Really,
and leaves all the slave queens.
Did I deserve? I did not deserve.
Oh, man. I know our time is running out. But it's good that our viewers are learning something. Never forget that I don't deserve. The moment you begin deserving each other, your relation keeps going down. And that's because you take each other for granted. I know you're celebrating your 30 years in just a few days.
A few days.
A few days.
To be exactly on the 11th
of August.
This month, August.
The next month.
30 years.
It's next month.
Yes, this very August is 30 years. So if it's 30 years, I want you to take a minute and hold that man's hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we're being watched all over the world. Because people may not be able to be there on your anniversary. But you can let us have a foretaste of what is going to happen. You made the vows. They're not dead. You just reaffirm the vows.
And you've got evidence for that.
You've got evidence. You've gone through it. I want you to look in the eyes of this girl, Caroline. And I want you to say those simple words as you can remember them. And assure her, this is just the beginning of my love for you.
Honestly, honey, just as I stood before the Lord God, before the man of God, and before everybody then, I say it again today. I love you, and I'll be with you for better, for worse, in health and in sickness. I've just proved a little bit of that. Even if we are to live 170 years, each one of us, you will still be the most beautiful woman to me. I'm not just out for the physical, I'm out for the whole of you. And you know, when I say something, I mean it.
Wow.
30 years after that, after saying that, 5 children then, and now I still love you, but more than I did then. God bless you.
Carolyn, go ahead.
My love, I don't know whether I would be alive here now by now. But I thank you that you gave me a chance. I know God is above everything, but God does not use trees or anything else. He uses people that are near you. I don't know whether I would be alive, but I thank God that you stood. Thank you. Thank you for standing. May God bless you.
Thank you for standing. Thank you for standing. Love is made worthwhile when the price is paid. You paid the price like Jesus did. You gave everything that she receives, and you are getting nothing in return. That is what love is. It's been Unlocking Marital Bliss, Cyrus Rod. And I'm so honored these guests today were able to prove to us that love is still alive in sickness and in health. I want you to listen. Never feel you deserve that girl, and girl, never feel you deserve that boy. That's the key to celebrate 30 years, 50 years, 100 years together. It's very possible. And I'm so blessed having hosted you today.
Wow, we are also blessed.
And on your marriage anniversary, you know, we've had all this corona, whatever, and all this, the scientific and all that. But on your marriage anniversary, we really, as Unlocking Marital Bliss, we want to take you out for a dinner. I want to celebrate. I want you to love this girl like never before. So your whole dinner, you make the choice of any hotel in this country. You make the choice.
Wow, God bless you.
And we want you out on a fully paid for dinner. Just enjoy yourselves. Don't worry about cooking food because it will be catered for. Thank you so much for being our guests.
Can I say something for you, sure?
Yes.
Our eldest son is married now. He
Yes.
works at UBC here.
Yes.
But do you know how he got his spouse?
No.
They were at campus. They were in a discussion group. Then this girl, amongst the others, looks at his laptop, and guess what? The photograph, which is the screensaver, was of me and my wife
Now anniversary.
in one.
One of our
One
of our
anniversaries.
anniversaries.
And then the girl says, then I said, I should go for this boy because she has it. He has
Family.
it.
She has.
In his family.
Mhm.
That is so beautiful. It's within the family. So guys, we leave it, they see it, they adopt it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. And remember, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.